All right, you guys, so we are checking out another space. This is my in-laws' living room. You know what we do. We're gonna spruce this place up, add a bunch of different tech to it, make it absolutely awesome. Today, we're gonna start the process of setting up a couple of the things that we have here, and we'll probably turn this into a little mini series. And today, we're gonna start things off with setting up a couple of the products that we have here. But let's take a closer look at some of the important stuff that I know they're gonna want. All right, so check it out, guys. This is the first thing that I really wanted to get set up in here. This is the SwitchBot S10. And shout out to SwitchBot for sponsoring today's video and hooking my in-laws up with this. But what's great here is that inside of the box, you get pretty much everything you need to get started. But for those of you who aren't familiar with the S10, this is a robot vacuum. And we've seen these before, but this has an included charging station where it also is able to take all of the dirt that it vacuums and puts it right inside of here, inside of this little bag. And that's important for me because the idea here is to make everything simple and make sure my in-laws have to do as little as possible. Now, what's nice about that is they don't have to replace the bag for up to 90 days. Now, that's kind of important for me because behind all of the choices of tech that we're adding here, it's all about convenience. So I want this to be a really convenient option for them. Now, that's everything over there, but I gotta show you guys something else. That's one of them, but we'll get back to that later. What I need to show you guys is actually in the kitchen, and that's this. So this is the water station. Now, obviously there's mopping functionality with the S10, but this right here is what's just like ridiculously unique. So with this thing, you do not have to worry about changing any water tanks, putting water in, throwing away dirty water. The water station is actually connected to the water supply of the kitchen faucet. So check it out. Right now, these cables all reach under here. And I was actually able to do this myself. And yeah, I know it's a little wild, but your boy was able to do this. I have no skills with plumbing, but it's relatively simple. I just needed to add this clean water hose to the faucet. So it gets clean water. It's just a splitter. And then the dirty water actually goes down here, and that goes into the drainage. So just like your dirty water from your kitchen faucet, this has this splitter here. So all the dirty water from the S10 after it's done mopping your floors will go straight into this. So you no longer need to touch any components. It's all automated, and that is amazing. Now, instead of just adding water to the S10, there's a little flap right here where you can add the cleaning solution. And then of course it'll mix it up with water, make it so that it actually does a good job cleaning. And it's been doing very well from what we've seen so far. And that's a feature that you can actually even control right on the app. You can have it do its solution. You can have it just do water if you want. You get to pick and choose how it functions. Now, while I know that this is going to work very well for my in-laws, if somebody maybe didn't want to hook this up to their kitchen faucet, or maybe they're just not able to, they actually offer an external tank solution. So if you want to have the typical, clean water tank and the area to go ahead and put your dirty water, and all you do is plop it on top, plug this little piece in, and you're essentially all set to use the different tanks. That gives you some flexibility as well. You can pretty much put this thing wherever you want. So with the water station being over here, it'll automatically refill when it needs more water, and then it'll clean itself out when it needs to get rid of it. So essentially, I'm trying to minimize anything that would make my in-laws have to like hunch over and, break their backs trying to do. They'll be all right.
Won't you break your back?
Oh, Jay, don't even try to put me into this old conversation, okay? I gotta hide the grace. But here's the crazy thing. With the water station being over there, the S10 can actually work with this humidifier. So this is the evaporative humidifier. This also works with the S10. But what's really cool here is that with that water station, the S10 can refill the tank of the humidifier by taking the clean water from the kitchen faucet and putting it right into here. Now, I really wanted this in here because it's wintertime, the air is gonna get a lot drier. So making sure there's like a humidifier in here to kind of make sure, get moist air. We need that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know, we need that moisture. That's one more thing they no longer need to touch and maintain themselves. The S10 can straight up do it for them. They don't even have to hunch over, Jay, to press the button because you have access to all of the controls right from the app. So you guys can see over here, we've got our map. We can start a cleaning session by just pressing play. We can pick certain rooms, so certain areas. We can just pick where we want it to clean. And me personally, I like being able to go in, check out where I want like it to deep clean and hit ×2 to make sure it goes over it twice to ensure a nice clean run. And I like that it changes up its pattern on the second run to make sure it gets everything. And you also get a bunch of, different controls of the vacuum itself. So if you wanted to dry the mop, you want to wash the mop, empty your dust, you can control all of that. So we were shooting this scene where I'm talking about this and I pressed wash mop. So the vacuum actually just went over to the water station to get itself all cleaned up. I just love the amount of flexibility and control you get here. If you really, I'm shooting a video, S10. So this is basically like your remote control for everything you might want the S10 to do, which just adds to the not even needing to interact with it aspect. Only thing you'll ever actually really need to do is empty out the dustbin once it's filled up in 90 days.
I'm going back to charge now.
Okay, it didn't take long to clean the mop.
Drying roller mop.
Now, I like the S10 for this area because there are lots of, little chairs and tables and all kinds of things in here that it's going to work well around. So first off, when it came to mapping out this area, it has that LiDAR scanner on the top. So it did that really quickly. It doesn't need to physically go over every inch of the floor in order to make that map. It just goes into an area, that LiDAR scanner scans everything, and you see that map just populate with crazy accuracy. It also is able to go over rugs and carpet. So transitioning from hardwood floors over to a carpet is actually really nice because it'll also raise the mop. So from a terrain aspect, it's able to handle all of this just fine. Now the thing is, my in-laws keep a pretty clean house, so I don't imagine that it's going to have to work very hard to keep here clean. But of course, we had to see it for ourselves to make sure it's legit. We threw some stuff down on the floor. It cleaned it up with no problem. So whatever mess my in-laws make, I'm sure it's not gonna look like that. And even while the S10 is in the middle of a job and is picking up everything that it needs to, it'll automatically self-clean the mop as it's cleaning their floors. So they won't have to deal with any odors or residue. That's dope. And that's got me thinking. I love the idea of giving voice commands. You guys, if you follow me on the channel, you know I'm all about that. But straight up automation might be nice for them too. Like, this has me a little inspired, Jay. Maybe we should add more things in here that they don't have to, interact with a lot of this stuff. They just kind of happen when they wanted to. And you know what? There's actually voice command functionality with the S10. So if you have like a smart assistant that you like to use, you can tell it to like start cleaning, that kind of thing. Who do we choose to go with though for the assistant? Oh, they have all these Nest products. Well, who am I kidding? I know what I'm doing. So I'm happy for them. I really like this thing because it's not just like a random robot vacuum. It's got a bit of an ecosystem happening here. So I think that's dope. If you guys want to get your hands on one of these, Black Friday is the time to get it. It'll basically go down from $11.99 to $6.99, which is just insane. And that of course includes the S10, the power station, and the water station. Now it's time to get into all of the other things that we brought here. So we got a lot of work to do, Jay. Links in the description. Peace. Here we go.